Imagine the luxury of freedom.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Mamelodi Sundowns, the African Champions League, they win the first ever African Football League. Leke, team yabantu abafana no Michael Manzini, or Ezra Mnyandoro, or Roger Fetumba. Maninzi kamadoda ke yadlala kweliqela Fondini as legends abafana no Dennis Onyango Mvanje, of course i-icon esadlalayo ngoku ezaba i-icon nangona phakade uThemba Zwane, one of the greatest players ever for his own generation. He leads Sundowns to the point where they are right now. Liqela ke le Mamelodi Sundowns elalisa kubana abadlali abafana no Joel Fire Masilela nabanye ko Rafael Chuku ababedlala. uBennett Masinga wakora amanqaku ayi-33 kwenye season, is the highest ever goal scorer in a single season for Mamelodi Sundowns. So those are the people and a lot of others we cannot squeeze into a single video that will be very proud of this. Eric Ramasike has always been very nice to me as a journalist. I've always called him whenever I was working at Soccer Duma to get a comment from him about anything related to Sundowns. People like that, former Mamelodi Sundowns left back, those will be the people who will be proud about what this team has achieved. About Godfrey Sapula, they will be very proud about what the team has achieved. One of the most clever players to have ever played for Mamelodi Sundowns, Surprise Muriri, will be proud of what these guys have achieved. And let it not be lost on all of us that the 36-year-old coach has just won this tournament for Mamelodi Sundowns, Orulani Mukwena, for everything that he is and he isn't. And there's a lot of debate about whether or not he is the real deal. Think about this. Whether or not he is a real deal, he is an African champion. He is a league champion in South Africa. So he's a South African champion because if you win the league, you are the boss of your own country. And now he's won the African Football League, which means in the top 8 of African clubs, he is the best amongst them. And of course, there's also the CAF Champions League that they will be looking to win as well. So congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. That's the context under which this all has happened. If you also think about players like Obrumo Diba being in Brazil, playing at the Olympics for South Africa, whilst playing for SuperSport United, this is what is development, basically, about a human being playing at the Olympics against Abo Neymar, with Abo Mopara in that squad at the 2016 Olympic Games in Brazil. That's literally development. You develop from whatever you were at that point to be who you are, single-handedly winning an African Football League by scoring a beautiful goal, poised, chip it in. In 2016, he may not have been able to chip the goalkeeper because they were playing him central midfielder and left back and everywhere else. But he's developed to this point where he is now an important player in a very major final. So Vilakazi, this will then, the rest of the video will be yours, sir. What did you see today? What would you like to say to Mamelodi Sundowns?
Mzangiwe kunjani mfethu? Ngibulise wena, ngibulise uJustice, ngibulise uJunior. Ngibulise nemakhaya, ngicela support njalo iDiskiTV. Njengoba nje njalo ngichike futhi. Mr. Nkewu, it's been years ngiba nama goosebumps. You know, well done Gabuyelo, well done to the coach Rulan and then technical team and the players. You know, it's something that will remain in our lives forever. You know, it takes a lot.
Before you continue, so technical team is Sundowns. I'm putting you on the spot, but please mention them if you remember all of them.
Oh yes, Coach Mangoba, Abo Robinson Lapayana, as he was a goalkeeper coach. Now he's an assistant coach.
Michael Loftman.
Michael Loftman. I think he was once at Pirates, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then Kenan Mwene as an assistant goalkeeper. You know, obvious. Even also Onyango, because you know he's been there pushing the young boy Lapayana Rowan. You know, these guys Abo Banning him on kid manager, Brakin, Lapana, a move behind the scenes, making sure the boys have got everything that they need, sweater matches and all of that. You know, the security people, at where these boys they go there and prepare themselves. You know, there's a lot of people that they've played their part, you know, to prepare this team, you know. That's why it takes a village to raise a man. And look, it was a journey for the coach, and look at when you look at his age at 36, he has achieved this. You know, last season he won the league. We said no, but the winner we won. We but you know, look at him today, he just created a history at this age. The whole Africa, he's the boss now in Africa. When you talk about African football, he's the boss. Even though, football is a game of mistakes, and I like that thing. He also learned, the other time when I met him, we spoke and he even said, look, the challenge that I'm facing in this game is that I've never played at the highest level. And, when I had to engage at some point with the players that have been in that, the played at the highest level, I'm caught, between the heart and the rock, because now it's like, angazi uzokhuluma ngithini.
Where can you draw from?
Yeah, kahle manje, but
What memories from playing can you draw from?
yes, so but I'm trying to learn and try to understand. That's the only thing that is catching up with me, because I've never played at highest level. But other than that, I know that I've got a good technical team. I've managed to get the right players at the right time in the right positions. And look, Mr. K, he's a very good coach. I can tell you, no doubt about this. When you look at players that I'll call the names. Look at Mundau from Apuma Gule parts. Ukuthi type of player enjani, but look at him now.
Yep. And that's coaching.
Mina that's what I'm getting. Yes, we can discuss and say no, but you take a player there and there. But you can buy all the stars, but if you are not a good coach, you're not gonna get the right combination. And look at him. Look at Mudiba today. This boy, he's yeah. Look at Mkwena. Look Mkwena. I knew.
Ukumbona so Mkwena from a midfielder. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
Even the first goal, like I don't know if there's anything that he cannot do. Naye is another story. Say Olympics. Naye like this thing of Yakula, Super Sport United. Umukwena. Interestingly, I remember maybe it was the first year I came to Joburg that in 2019 I was watching it online. I'm AFCON. So when you under 23 AFCON, when you get into the top 4, then you qualify the 4 teams. Yes. So it's semifinals, or if you become number 3, the 3 teams go to the Olympics. The 3 of them, yes. Whoever wins the final and the runners up, and then the bronze medal they go. There was a game where we were playing, I think against Egypt, and he's 21 years old. He was 20 years old around that time. And there's a free kick there. It was literally the last minute, and he scores a free kick from like 30 yards. And this is literally a development. Like this is the thing where if we see these kids playing at 22, at under 17, at under 16, and you're like, that's exactly what's happening. One day, God will ask you to play in a final at the biggest stage on your own continent. Yeah. And from those experiences of playing in Olympics, qualifying single-handedly, taking a free kick to qualify South Africa to the semifinals and therefore qualifying us to the Olympics, those are the moments that you're going to draw from when you play a tournament as big as this, which is a very, very, very top level stage.
Mr. K, look at this team. I want people to see they've played Champions League. They played away. They dominate away without supporters. Look at this age of these boys. Abomkwena, Abomundiba, Maseko, Abo Alende. Those are not old players. They still have age on their side. And when they go away, look at the game against Ilonduzana, the first leg final away, where they can score a goal. It takes a lot out of these boys. And Mr. Kewu, Rulane has done a very good job. He just put a very strong team. And one thing that I like about him is that he learns, he wants to learn more, and he asks questions. Because when he asks, it's sort of a lot of questions. Because I even said when we were doing Amakema, Sundowns, I'm worried when he starts to make changes, because the game goes down. Every time when he makes changes, the game goes down. And he said to me, you know what, I asked myself, go to team, and then when I watch our videos, and then I was like, yes, you were right, you were correct. But even today, it almost cost him. Yeah. It almost cost him. Because when you look at how these guys have played first half, Sundowns were pressing high. They couldn't stand the ball at the back. So, but now second half, then that's where he started to make a change. He put in Uzungu, where now everyone needs to come back. Now they can start the ball at the back. Now they can play the long ball. Now they can use the width. They try to play it long. And once you put a defensive midfielder or a defender, now you are inviting the opponents. You're saying to them, no, you can come to my half because I'm not going to go to your half. And that's danger because, with these African teams, you'll never know, Mr. Kyo. They used to Gudabo referee on their side every time, and even when they play away, they can try and bulldoze the referee, bulldoze everyone, so that they can get away. But this time around, it didn't work. Mr. Keo, it's something that I want people to look at it is that Mr. Mutsipe, when he started to build this team, everyone was laughing. You can't buy success. All of us were saying all these things when he was buying players until he get the right structure, right people at the right positions, and look at his team today. They have just created a history in Africa where no one else. I doubt that there will be another coach that will be 36 years old and win this trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just need to ask you one more thing. So regarding this, because I was convinced when Sundowns played with that Casablanca in the semi-final of the CAF Champions League, it was earlier this year, and with that Casablanca, what they did in the quarterfinal, they played against Simba. The second leg was with that Casablanca's home game, and the score was, I think, 0-0. So that game went to penalties, because all Wydad needed to do score one goal, you win. It will be a win. But they were Simba, and then they won on penalties. On that night, they fired their coach. And I remember just on social media writing a long thing, and I said, the reason why Wydad Casablanca fired their coach is because they know there is another team which they were going to play against that is better than them. And Sundowns were better than them in terms of playing football. Even tonight, that was proven. Even the first leg, that was proven. It was proven even by the time Umutubimbala got his own goal, which is incidental. It's like the fact that you were knocked out because of an own goal is incidental. It doesn't mean that you were the worst team. Yeah. That was the one goal they needed, which was all the scores are equal, but it's away goal. It's 2 away goals. But my point is that at that time, I genuinely believed, just by looking at Al Ahly, I looked at Esperance, then there was Wydad, and there was Sundowns. Those were the 4 teams, and I said, Sundowns are the best football playing team on the African continent. I watched this tournament online a lot. It was on sabcsport.com, most of these matches, if they were not putting it live on TV. And today again, I'm convinced, because I watched these teams. Wydad played against Esperance de Tunis. Yeah. It was 1-0 and 0-0. There were not a lot of goals. Wydad scored 1-0 and then they went to Tunisia and then they defended. It was 0-0. That's how they got to the final. Now, I looked at these teams and I looked at Al Ahly playing against Sundowns. I am convinced that there is no better player of football on the African continent at club football than Sundowns. And this is largely because with the North Africans, the Arabs, they're close to Europe, so they have money. They can afford players. But what they don't do is they are anti-football. As soon as they have 1 or 2 goals, they stop playing football. And even those goals, they score because it's a corner, because it's a free kick. Even if they break you, sometimes on an odd day, they will try and play, because in the first leg of this final, they tried to play. But most of the time, whether it's USM Alger, all of these teams, they don't want to play football. Do you, in your opinion, believe that this is the best African team right now? Are they better than Al Ahly? Of course, we're not talking historically. Yeah. We don't have to explain ourselves. This is an obvious thing. Yeah. It's not historic. It's like, in this moment, is this the best football playing club in Africa? Who is better than them?
Mr. Keo, the best team now in Africa is Mamelodi Sundowns. No doubt about that. Look, Wydad Casablanca, to be really honest, they're not the bad team. Yeah. They're not the bad team at all, because but one thing, it's something that it's always work in their minds, all these North teams. When they play home, they can show you how to play football. They can play. They've got their supporters. They can do whatever. it takes for them. I'll put it with the Casablanca. For me, that best game was the first leg. For me, they've made Sundowns.
They were better than Sundowns in the first
No, they were not better than Sundowns, but they could play. They could play. They will make Sundowns also to move, try and close some spaces there and there. Now you could see, okay, man, these guys, they can play. They can knock the ball around. They can build up from the back. They can get to that final third. But today, they were nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. Sundowns were all over. Even second half, when Sundowns started making those changes, the only thing that they were doing that they were trying to put the ball, play the route one, and it was not working. Look at when you've got Abumvala and the Libusa at the back. Libusa did very well. These are the players that you need in the team. These are the players that they show the leadership skills there at the back. They're solid at the back. At the right time, is there hitting the ball, covering. We were even saying, look at how he's covering. When Vala was picking up, going up with that tall striker, Libusa will come back just to be a sweeper. And Sundowns, they've shown a top class.
Best player in Africa?
Yeah, number one in Africa. Right now, it's speaking, there's no other team you can call now. Allah, they will tell you. All these African teams, when they play against Sundowns, they play well when they play home. But when they play away, they will like, it's not the very same team that played with Sundowns last week. And Sundowns, look, they are so arrogant. And I like that. I like that they're arrogant in their philosophy. They impose, and it's working for them. Even though sometimes, sometimes you don't need that. You don't need it to start at the back when there's that high pressure, especially at this stage. But he always say, let's keep on doing it. Let's do it. And it worked for them. Well done, Gabriel.
All right, it's a very important moment as well for you. So personally, your son scored his first ever Premier Soccer League goal. I just want to check the last time it was a winning goal. I want to check if it ended as 1-0, and I congratulate you because I've been following Utato ever since I started working with you. It was at Utongati last season, and then they bought him at Richards Bay. It was Richards Bay versus Cape Town Spurs. Each of these teams are at the bottom of the log. One of them needed to win. Richards Bay won 1-0, and Tato Mutlame, Vilakazi's firstborn son, scored his first ever top flight goal. He was a very good goal scorer even in the lower league with like 10, 12 goals every season. So he is a good scorer. And Kaitana Tembas played him in the last 30 minutes, and they have now 9 points on top of the Cape Town Spurs, who have 3 points, and they are only 3 points or 2 points away from relegation, courtesy of that goal. Congratulations! So, just a word on your kid. What do you tell him about even being patient, because he hasn't been playing? He played against Pirates for like 15 minutes. Today, 30 minutes, and he scored the winning goal. That was a beautiful goal. He cut in around the D-line, he scores. That was beautiful. I was so excited for him. Your word on your son, sir.
Mr. Kewo, it's sometimes hard to be a parent, because you always wish the good things for your kids. Even though when you see that it's tough, but you must always be positive, encourage, talk to him. Even when you hear a voice of, what I can hear what I can command, But I always talk to him every now and then, and I always say to him, look, boy, keep working hard. One thing that anyone cannot take it away from you is that fitness and hard work. No one will take it away from you. So if you work hard, you stay fit, you stay focused. When you get a chance, I don't care whether the coach gives you 5 minutes or 10 minutes, make use of that chance, and listen to the coach. If he says to you, go in and play the right wing, do what he's asking you to do, but at the very same time, read the game. Sometimes the game will allow you to cut inside, and when you cut inside, then take your chances. And I spoke to him even on my way when I was coming here. So I told him, no, I wish you all the best. Just focus The coach maybe will give you a chance today. Just make sure every time you are ready, when you get a chance, make use of the chance. I hope things will go well for you. And you know, when I saw that, and I was like, oh God, thank you. You know, for this week, all the things that I've asked for, it happened. You know, I've asked for my miracles to happen, for Ribeiro and Shalulile to be in the final, and look what happened. Shalulile scored a goal. You know, that made things easier for Sundowns. And now I spoke to my son. I said, "You're gonna get a chance. When you get a chance, make use of the chance." Yeah, my son went in and scored a goal. 3 points for the team. Well done to the boy. And you know, boy, I love you. Continue to work hard, my son.
There you go. 12th November 2023. You'll never forget that day, Tato. That's the day you scored your first goal. It's the same day that Sundowns won the first ever African Football League. Thank you very much to everyone who's still with us at this point of the video. I know it's longer, but we had to pay tribute to Mamelodi Sundowns to say congratulations. Being an African champion is not a small matter, so we have to really say well done. Even if it was Chiefs or Pirates or SuperSport United, we have to give props to a team that is an African champion. 74 million. Maybe on currency, because you know currency. If it's $4 million US, sometimes it's 74.5 million, sometimes it's 75 million. So who knows? But anyways, it's a lot of money. So those 2 cents at the end doesn't make any difference. It is good TV, it is good times. World Sports Betting. Thank you very much for watching us.